Hey, somebody's got to listen to the 99 episodes before this one. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth.
I like Indiana. We named the dog Indiana.
With actual listeners in more than 100 countries, this is our 100th episode. I am the Professional Noticer.
He's fine. He's a grown man. Seriously? Stu, you gotta calm down. Here, have some juice.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Thank you for making me a part of your week. As the Professional Noticer, it's my job to professionally notice things for you. Even odd conundrums like, how do you make the number 1 disappear? Well, you just add the letter G, and it's gone. Look, my purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. Our sponsor today is itam.org. That's IAITAM.org. They're the only global member-based training organization dedicated to meeting the needs of IT asset management professionals. Unbelievable organization headed by Dr. Barbara Mbiasa. This is somebody you should know. Get online and check them out. Are you looking for something to do for the rest of your life that pays well, that is really in demand? Check out itam.org. IAITAM.org. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, this is the 100th episode of The Professional Noticer, and as we were gearing up and seeing 100 coming up on the calendar, we thought we got to do something different. What can we do? And we thought we probably don't need to just interview somebody, because then other people might be aggravated that they weren't the guest on the 100th episode, because this is going to be very special. And so we thought, okay, let's let Andy be the guest. I'll be the guest. We'll let Matt be the host. And since it's the 100th episode, we'll ask 100 questions. How about that? So we're going to roll right through this. And I have here my friend who spent too much time on the beach yesterday, my lovely red-faced Matt. I have Matt Limpert. Matt, are you ready with your questions?
I am ready.
You are red. Yeah, there's I don't know about ready, but you are definitely red. My wife would get all over you. She's always on Adam, about, wear your sunscreen. Will you wear? I do, Mom. I do. It's like, yeah, we can tell you do. You look like a tomato. What happened?
Just day at the beach, my wife and I hanging out. Been just a couple hours swimming, got tired. I definitely need to be out of the sun even if I have sunscreen, and took a little nap under the umbrella. I think about 45 minutes maybe passed, woke up. My head was no longer under the shade of the umbrella, and it was burning. Yeah,
you forgot about that rotation of the earth thing. Most of us learned that in the 6th grade, Matt, but of course I don't remember it either. So, what are we doing?
All right, well, we're going to have some questions. We're going to start off with some easy ones. I know there'll be some hard ones, and so let's just get going.
Yeah, we got to do it fast because,
100 questions.
100 questions. It would take a long time if we don't do them fast, and so I hope these are fairly easy.
All right, what is your favorite color?
That is easy. Red.
And your toothbrush?
Blue-green. Kind of blue-green. That might make sense.
At the store, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
I want to say I want to be a bat because my wife is terribly afraid of bats. She watched Dark Shadows when she was a little kid, that soap opera with Barnabas Collins, and the only 2 times she's ever had just horrible dreams where she couldn't wake up, and it scared me to death. She was dreaming about bats. So I would like to, and I remember that episode where Barney and Thelma Lou were in the cave, and he said, watch out for bats. They'll lay eggs in your hair and you'll go crazy. And so Polly and I mention that occasionally, and so to be a bat and terrorize her would be fun. But my real answer would be a dolphin. I'd rather be a dolphin than a bat.
All right. Well, what is one of the things you would put on your bucket list?
I'll tell you exactly what I would put. My wife is like, she thinks Bradley Cooper It's just the greatest thing in the world. That actor in
Limitless.
and the thing
Hangover.
with Lady Gaga. What was that?
Oh, A Star Is Born.
Stars Born. Yeah, that's where she fell in love with Bradley Cooper. And so what on my bucket list would be to meet Bradley Cooper and have something that I could do that would be valuable to him that he would do me a favor, and that would be to eat dinner one night with Polly and me. However, I would set this up because Polly's she just thinks he is so beautiful and so great. And I would say, Bradley, you got to do me a favor. And I would have him do everything that Polly hates. Like at the table, I'd have him have a toothpick in his mouth. I would say, listen, you're never going to see us again, dude. You don't really care about us, so I need you to chew your mouth open. I need you to put way too much salad in your mouth, like burp at the table, something. Just, something like that so that when we're away from him, then I can say, well, that's not... Doesn't seem to be as great a guy as you thought, right? Yeah, that's my bucket list.
There you go. All right. Well, who is your favorite superhero and why?
My favorite superhero is Superman, not Underdog. And the reason is because Superman is real and Underdog is just a cartoon.
Ah, okay. Well, who do you admire the most?
Polly, my wife, because she has put up with me for so long and continues to do so.
It's amazing. And
You didn't have to say that, but go ahead.
What is your favorite summer activity?
Fishing.
All right. If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be? Who would play you?
It would probably be a comedy. Oh, I know. It would be a comedy, and Polly hates the movie Dumb and Dumber. Hates it. So I would say a comedy like Dumb and Dumber, and I would have Bradley Cooper play me.
What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Peppermint. Don't even have to think about it. That's just like crack ice cream.
I like peppermint too. Question number 10. Who is your favorite cartoon character and why?
Bugs Bunny, because he's a smart ass and he never loses.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Man, people ask me that occasionally, and I know this is boring, but I'm where I want to be. Orange Beach, Alabama is pretty cool to me. So I'm just saying, yeah, home.
It's nice down here. What is your dream job?
Talk show host.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When are you going to do that?
I've always wanted to be Johnny Carson. I just have always wanted to be. I think Johnny Carson and Bill Gaither are the very best at keeping
Absolutely.
something going like that. Anyway.
Are you a morning or a night person?
Morning,
Yeah,
definitely.
We all know that. What's your favorite hobby?
Outdoor stuff. Hunting, fishing, just outdoors. I can walk around with my camera and be fine.
What's one thing that annoys you the most?
Answering question after question.
All right, that's it. I'm packing up. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
An already dead fish. When I was a little kid, Roger Luker and I, we were at his house, and there was a lake across the street from their house, and we were probably like 7 or 8, and so we had permission from Aunt Martha to go across the street and fish, and we didn't catch anything, but there was a dead brim that had washed up. I mean, it was nasty. It was a dead brim, like washed up, and we took it home, and we told her that we caught it, and we actually cleaned it, and she cooked it, and we ate it.
Oh, how did it taste?
Yeah, I don't remember. I
Probably
don't
not good.
remember. I don't know. I was probably in a coma for a week.
What's your favorite thing about someone in your family?
I think my favorite thing is that all three in my family, Polly and both boys, are quick-witted.
That's true. What's one of your weird quirks?
As far as entertainment goes, I like great entertainment or a disaster. That's kind of a quirk of mine. I can be entertained by either. I either want to hear Andrea Bocelli or the guy who can't carry a tune and thinks he's great. Either one of those I'm fine with.
All right, well, describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words. Often amused alone.
That's great. Number 20. If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
For a day. For a day, I would trade lives with Bill Gates. And the why is while I was Bill Gates, I would spend the day making wire transfers to some guy named Andy Andrews' bank accounts. And then the next day when I was Andy Andrews again, I would be so surprised at the generosity of Mr. Gates.
I'll help you with that transfer.
Okay, thank you.
What's the best thing about your first and last name starting with an A?
Oh, that's easy. I've always been first in line for everything.
What is the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Lately, warm up on my Bradley Cooper dartboard.
Well, you're just roasting him.
I'm telling you, I just in my mind. I can't get him off of my mind.
What's your favorite movie quote? Not from Bradley Cooper. I'm
Not
guessing.
Bradley Cooper, no. From The Princess Bride, it's, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Love it. And what's your favorite joke?
My favorite joke?
Favorite joke.
Oh, Matt, I'm sorry. I can't tell you. Hadn't you been reading the news? I mean, I can't tell you because it is now unsafe to tell a joke in America. And that's fine. I'm just trying to get used to it being unsafe because soon it'll be illegal to tell jokes in America anyway. So, no, I'm not going to tell you a joke.
All right. Well, then, what would you do on Mars for fun?
Did you come up with these questions yourself? What would I do on Mars for fun? I guess get all the Martians together and I'd start an argument about whether or not there's life on other planets.
If you could get yourself anything, what would you get?
Land. I've always wanted like timberland, not land, just land. Yeah. I always thought that was just good. I got friends who have land and I don't have any land, and I would get land.
Well, where's the worst place you could get stuck?
The worst place I think you could get stuck is Antarctica. I mean, just read a book about Shackleton, and you'll see. I've read several books about Shackleton, and that's easily my answer.
I'll have to check those out. Oh, what was your favorite age?
51.
What's that?
Because when I was 51, Austin was 11, Adam was 8. They still thought I was cool. I spent a ton of time with them. It was so much fun just watching them and watching them with Polly and watching Polly with them. 51. Yeah.
Don't cry.
Yeah, don't cry.
Where would you go if you were invisible?
If I was invisible, now the obvious answer is find somebody naked, but I don't really care about that. I would go to the. Have you seen on TV these guys that set up dominoes? They have competitions. There's an international domino toppling competition. And if I were invisible, I would go there. And in their setup time, I'd just walk around, and when everybody's halfway through, I'd just like tip one over. I think that would be very funny. What's happening here?
Question 30. What is your favorite jelly bean flavor?
Licorice.
That is unusual. What is one thing that you bought that when you got your hands on it, you wish you hadn't spent the money?
Oh, that's easy. It arrived yesterday. A package of flashlights. I got taken in by. I'm so stupid. That there's some kind of pop-up ad about some flashlight, and it's supposed to be this like most unbelievable thing, and it'll make things burn. It's so unbelievable, and I mean, it's lies. It's a pack of lies. Don't buy the flashlight. And of course, you get one, but you could get two, and you could get three if you. Well, I got like 5, and they arrived. The first one didn't even work, and then the second one, I got it's like a night light. It's like I'm so mad at myself.
Wow.
And now everybody knows how stupid I am.
All right. A backpack or a briefcase?
Backpack.
Backpack for sure. What's your biggest addiction?
Activity. Moving. I have a fear of being bored, and so just like moving, doing something.
All right. Do you have a song that reminds you of a relationship? If so, what song?
Yeah, that duet song from A Star Is Born. It reminds me of the relationship my wife apparently wishes she had with Bradley Cooper. How about that?
About how many books have you read so far this year?
30, 35. It's June. 30, 35.
Wow, that's a ton. When you dance, you look like...
I look like I'm embarrassed. That's what I look like.
Who have you met that you wish you hadn't?
Who have I met that I wish I hadn't? Let's just leave it at a couple of preachers and several politicians.
All right,
How about that?
We'll leave it there. At restaurants, do you prefer a booth or a table?
If there are 2 people, I want a booth. But if there are 3 or more, let's get a table.
What's the worst job you could have?
Well, I don't know about the worst job I could have, but the worst job I've ever had is working on a Gulf shrimper. And I for a long time, I thought that was the worst job anybody could have. But then I saw that Deadliest Catch thing, where those guys are kind of doing the same thing, but in Alaska in 20-foot seas and it's freezing. But working on a Gulf shrimper, I realized after several months of doing that, I don't want money that bad. I don't want to be alive that bad.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that a couple of weeks ago, actually, working on the shrimper, and it sounded awful. Question 40. What is your favorite TV channel?
Whichever one's airing the Andy Griffith Show at the time.
Is that TV Land? Do they still have TV Land?
Oh, yeah, there's TV Land. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can press guide, though, and find Andy Griffith pretty easy.
What is the thing you're most afraid of?
Snakes.
Indiana Jones complex.
I don't mind if they're over there. I don't mind if they're over there, but I don't like coming up on one. You said Indiana Jones complex. We used to just laugh at Adam because when he was like 6 or 7 years old, that movie was out where Sean Connery was his father. And for some reason, Adam could do the most hilarious impression in his little boy voice of Sean Connery when he said, and Adam would get it because he heard it and he just immediately started doing it. He goes, "Snakes, Junior." Snakes, Junior.
I love that movie. By the way, are you sure that came out when he was? I thought that came out in like '87.
It may have, but when he was 7 years old, we saw it again.
You watched
There's
it?
this thing that you can replay movies. I mean, Gone with the Wind wasn't live, Matt. You can actually still see it today.
Well, can you?
Yeah.
Still? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you could paint anything, what would you paint?
By numbers.
What celebrity annoys you the most?
Oh, really? Do you really have to ask?
Well, do you have an answer?
Just give it a big Bradley Cooper. Go ahead.
What's the most interesting thing you have in your wallet?
My Geneva Conventions ID.
What do you do with that?
When I used to do, I've done some stuff, and and I at one point I had a security clearance, and when I traveled overseas, I carried a Geneva Conventions ID because I'm not in uniform. And if you are arrested as a spy in some countries and you're not in uniform, you can be executed. And so I have a Geneva Conventions ID that I would carry with me on a lot of those trips.
That's fascinating. What is the best gift you've ever received?
Oh, by the way, back to the Geneva Conventions ID. I was in one place, and they told me, they said, "Hey, just make sure if you leave your room that you just put your underwear over anything, because a lot of the people who come in and out, the maids or anything like that, they could be looking at stuff and photographing stuff. But if you put your underwear over something, they're Muslim and will not touch somebody else's underwear."
Wow.
And so that was the first time I thought, wow, I must be Muslim.
I'll keep that in mind.
I wouldn't touch anybody's underwear either. Go ahead.
What is the best gift you've ever received?
A BB gun when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and my dad, this is long before Christmas Story came out, it was the same thing. Same thing. I wasn't supposed to get it. My mom didn't want me to get it, and he did it. And, hey, what's that over in the corner? I'm telling you, that's what my dad did.
That's awesome. If you had a yacht, what would you call it?
Well, now, of course, if I had a yacht, I would call it the Miss Polly. But before I was married, I always thought if I could buy a yacht, I would name that yacht AFTERYOU. That way I could go to some girl and say, "Hey, would you like to take a ride on my yacht? I named it after you."
That reminds me. I have a friend from college, and he ended up actually getting your name tattooed on himself. You know, one of those fraternity type things.
Hey, I've got your name tattooed. Yeah. That's great.
What is your lifelong dream?
To own land.
To own land.
Not funny, but it is.
It's a good dream.
Yeah.
If you could talk to the president, what would you talk about?
Like our president, like right now?
Yeah.
Oh, if I could talk to him, I would just try to help him increase his level of self-esteem and just encourage him not to be so unsure of his opinions. You know, just get him to speak up for himself. He just seems so shy.
Have you ever tried to do something you know you would be really bad at? What was it?
Yeah, and I was right. Ice skating.
Nice.
Whew. Oh.
Halfway through, number 50.
Halfway through.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
Oh, I'm a good solid 6.
Oh, no. I want
no.
to talk to you about your self-esteem.
You know, and no, I'm a 6. I'm a 6.
Far above. All right.
And I always, I'm a 6.
Do you visit the barber or have someone you personally know cut your hair?
You know the answer to that. I have someone I personally know cut my hair. Me. I cut my own hair with a Flowbee.
Flowbee.
Yeah, I do.
How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
30 minutes.
What is one thing you've always wanted to do?
Be a good husband and dad. Be appreciated by my wife and boys, I guess.
What TV sitcom family would you be a member of?
I would like to say the Andy Griffith Show, something there, but it's probably, I would probably be a member of the Munsters.
What store do you shop at the most?
It would either be Publix in Orange Beach or Sam's Stop and Shop in Orange Beach. Now, it's not Sam's Wholesale Club. That's Sam's Stop and Shop in Orange Beach. And so they have tackle and they have reels and they have wine and they have Band-Aids and food and T-shirts. I mean, Sam's Stop and Shop.
Love Sam's. That's a good one. What new technology will transform the future?
Flying cars for everyone.
88 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think flying cars. They've been promising them for years. Come on.
What supply in your house is running low?
Right now it's juice.
Juice. What kind of juice?
You know, there's this kind of guava stuff. I don't even know what that is that Polly gets. But we're low on juice, and the reason is because we're in the time of year where there's no citrus fruit. And so, you know, because usually we have juice, we just go pick it and juice it. But, you know, I hate buying orange juice and grapefruit juice because it doesn't taste like all the trees. And so, different kind of juices. But right now, juice.
Yeah, you know, that was one thing I thought that was really interesting moving down here that, you know, growing up away from where citrus trees grow and stuff like that, I always thought, you know, summer would be the time that juice would be the best, but it's usually, when is that, around like December, January?
Yeah, it's not until really early around Thanksgiving that the Meyer lemons get really good, and in middle of December when the oranges and grapefruits are ready. But they're different from most garden stuff because you know, most stuff when it gets ripe, if you don't pick it, it just keeps ripening and it rots. But citrus fruit gets ripe and just stays there. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, when it's ready mid-December, you can pick it. I mean, you could really pick it until May. But we did that one year, and we realized after we read what we had done to screw up the trees, you really need to pick it all by the end of February because you want it to bloom again. And it won't bloom with all that fruit on it. And so But it is awesome from mid-December to the end of February, maybe middle of March, just to be able to go out and pick whatever. But by the time we pick the rest of it and give it away, as you know, I mean, it's like, here, Matt, here's another 5-gallon bucket of grapefruit.
Yeah, I found with the grapefruits, I like the ones that I would probably said, no, that looks like it's bad. That's not going to be good. Those are the best ones.
Those are the best ones.
By far.
Yeah, because they, ours are organic. They don't look like what you get in the grocery store. They look like, they're kind of sunburned, and they've been through a little bit of cold, and they are so sweet. Those that have hung on that tree until the end, just unbelievable.
All right, back to our questions.
Okay,
if you could be any nationality, what would you choose?
Are you serious? Are you serious? Yeah. Wait. You don't like this job, Matt? Is that what it is? You don't like working here? You don't like working with me? If I could be any nationality, what would I choose? Are you kidding me? You think I dare answer that question in today's world? I mean, look, you just strike that from ever being asked again. Because if you answer that one, you're fired, you're kicked out of your alumni association, you're vilified on social media. You just throw an answer out there to that, you won't even be able to give blood. I'm telling you, man, one genuine answer, you'll never work again. Because you'll never be able to explain your answer. You'll be facing the bright lights of CNN saying, no, wait. I wasn't saying anything bad about the people of Antarctica. I love cold weather. I mean, sometimes in solidarity with my chosen Antarctic people, I even chew whale blubber. Oh, really? Yeah, well, shouldn't have said that either, because Greenpeace is going to be marching in your front yard this afternoon. I'm telling you that. I mean, that's the way it works now. That's the way. I am shocked. I'm shocked anybody is able to actually have a job anymore, because I don't think anybody I can't think of anybody that I know that can measure up to the standards required to be left alone. So not anymore.
Oh, that's a good answer. What is the most delightful word you can think of?
Cahoots.
Cahoots.
I think that is hilarious. I think that's such a hilarious word, cahoots. Cahoots. We're in cahoots.
Question 60. What's your least favorite beverage?
Dark beer. Oh, my God. That's just like so putrid to me.
What's the first thing you notice when someone walks into a room?
Whether or not they're about to shoot.
Yeah.
I keep my eye out for that kind of thing.
If you were stranded on a tropical island, what two things would you want with you?
Tropical island. The two things I'd want a 335 Everglades boat with twin 450 Yamahas and a full tank of gas. That's what I would want.
That's great. You know, how many times I've heard that question in my life and no one has ever said, I'll bring a boat with me.
Yeah, bring a boat. Well, watch Gilligan's Island. I mean, seriously, these people, you can look at the professor. You can build a radio out of a coconut, and you can't build a boat.
Yeah. Or even fix a hole on a boat.
Yeah, fix a hole on a boat. Golly.
What's the first thing you notice when entering someone's home for the first time?
I noticed their books.
I bet you would.
You know what books are lying around? I love looking at people's bookshelves. Yeah, I notice their books.
If you were running for office, what would your campaign slogan be?
Term limits. No kidding. Don't get me started.
I won't. What was your favorite book growing up?
I can't even remember the name of it, but it was about a family who traveled around with circus animals, and all the animals could talk, but they only talked to the family. And then when they do the circus, of course, it was just like a circus. But then after work, everybody's talking, and I cannot find what that book was.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
I used to
it
check
reminds me
it.
of Animal Crackers, though.
Well, I used to check it out of the library in Jackson, Alabama, where my grandparents lived.
What city in America should not be included on a map?
No comment. Yeah, we're back up to one of those questions that you're nuts to answer.
What compliment do people give you the most?
I probably hear more about Austin and Adam than anything. You know that they're certainly good guys. They're fun to be around. Very
And they're
polite,
witty.
and they're witty, and complimenting somebody's kids. Golly, that's the ultimate compliment to me. Polly and I both feel that way.
What word would you add to the dictionary if you could, and what would it mean?
Here, I've got a word that I would add to the dictionary. I pronounce it isolanche. An isolanche. And an isolanche is, when you've got more ice than you do liquid in your glass, and you're raising your glass and you're trying to get the ice, and you raise it just past the tipping point of the ice, and then all the ice falls all at once and falls into your face.
Amazing. I can't believe there's not a word for that.
Well, I call it an isolanche.
I'm using it
You
too.
just had an isolanche.
What product would you refuse to promote?
Well, those stupid flashlights. I'll choose that.
Number 70. What's your favorite pet's name?
Our favorite pet, it is our favorite pet, and his name is George Washington Carver, is his full name. We call him Carver, and he is a black standard poodle, and just the smartest dog, the coolest dog. He doesn't shed, he doesn't stink, he's calm, he's very wise. I mean, sometimes I get up in the morning and he's very quiet and he's sitting in a chair reading the Wall Street Journal, and it is a cool dog, a very smart dog, Carver.
Use one word to describe your computer ability.
I would say tragic. Kindergarten. That would be a good word.
All right.
Kindergarten.
Speedboat.
Why are you nodding? Don't be nodding. Don't be saying, yeah, that's good for you.
I was just thinking we should ask, I'd love to ask SB the same question. What do you think Andy's
Yeah, SB would say fetal.
speedboat or pontoon?
Speedboat. Center console.
Which of the presidents was your favorite?
Lincoln.
How long of a consecutive time have you spent in a car?
22 hours and something. It's between 22 and 23 hours. And it was from Des Moines, Iowa to Orange Beach, Alabama. And I drove the whole way without stopping except for gas. And it was in the very last rental car at the Des Moines airport on the morning of 9/11.
Wow.
And that was how I got out of Des Moines. When I saw, Air Force One landed in Omaha, and I saw Air Force One in the sky, but I listened to the radio all the way home.
Wow. What's your favorite Halloween costume?
I don't do that, of course. I deemed myself too old a couple of years ago to do Halloween in church or But my favorite Halloween costume I've ever seen was Adam when he put on this kind of straw hat with an A around it. People around Alabama know that as the kind of hat Nick Saban wears. And he put on khakis and an Alabama, like an Alabama Izod, kind of that kind of shirt, and had a whistle around his neck. And Austin that year went as Forrest Gump, okay? And then Adam went as Nick Saban. And so Austin carried a little plastic pumpkin. Adam, the kid, I'm telling you, the kid knew what he was doing because he carried a pillowcase. And everywhere we went, people were going, "Oh, look, it's Coach Saban. Roll Tide, buddy." And they're emptying their and Austin came back, half his little pumpkin filled. Adam came back with like a pillowcase full of candy. Austin was so mad. He was furious. And Adam, he knew what he's doing. He knew what he's doing.
I'd love to see a picture of that. How can you tell if someone is a nerd?
I can't, which probably means that I am one.
If you could teach any grade or subject, what would it be?
11th grade history. I mean, 11th grade's early enough to catch them, and I think if if I could teach 11th grade history, then they would be around school in the 12th grade, so that if for some reason I didn't like them in the 11th grade, I could terrorize them while they weren't in my class.
What fashion trend do you just not get?
Neck tattoos.
Necktie, yeah. If you were a wicked tyrant, what country would you rule?
The country of Mississippi.
The country of Mississippi.
Yeah, I think I could do them some good.
Question 80.
We're 3/4 of the way through. We're going down the home stretch now.
What is the lowest grade you have ever been given? What class was it for?
Oh, it was definitely chemistry. It was my senior year, and I think I got an H, which is like 2 levels below an F. I was terrified that I was not going to graduate because of chemistry, and I think I got an H. A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Yeah, I think she gave me an H.
If you could choose your nickname, what would it be?
I don't think you choose your nickname, but I like Ange. That's what Barney called Andy, and it's what a couple of my best friends call me.
What is your best physical feature?
Oh my God. I have no idea. And that's nothing I ever consider. So next.
If you could swim in any liquid, what would it be and why?
Green Kool-Aid. Green Kool-Aid. I loved green Kool-Aid when I was a little kid. And I think, why? Because it seems very silly. I think I would love that.
Now, is green actually a flavor? Is it apple or is it just green?
It's just green.
It's just green. It's got its own thing.
It's its own flavor.
What is the song you hear most often?
According to my iTunes list, it's probably something by Jason Crabb or the Isaacs. That I'm sure, because I listen like every morning. So.
What have you done that you're most proud of?
Well, I had a part in Austin and Adam, and that would be my answer. But if it's a personal thing, I would say I'm probably most proud of continuing to write, even though it's hard for me to do, just to continue.
Do you remember getting the chicken pox?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Roger Luker.
What advice have you gotten that has been the most rewarding?
You ought to write. You ought to write. Mrs. McLeod in the 8th grade was the first one to tell me that I should write. And then a specific piece of advice regarding writing, I came off stage one time and Zig Ziglar was in the audience, and I had done the butterfly effect thing. And Zig told me that he said, you need to make that into a book. You need to write that little short thing into a book. And I did, and it's coming up on 1 million copies now.
Wow.
Thank you, Zig.
Question 90. If you could change one thing about your looks, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, my face, I guess.
What's your least favorite type of music?
Loud music. Just too loud.
If you
Boy, do I sound old? I sound old. It's too loud. Just too loud. Turn it down.
I just don't like loud music when you're at the gas station trying to pump and someone else has you listening to their loud music.
That's
Can't
true.
stand it.
Yeah.
Can't stand
It's somebody else's loud music. That would be somebody else's loud music.
If you were a superhero, what would your powers be?
Everything Superman has, without the kryptonite weakness, of course. Yeah.
It's a good thing to work in there.
Yeah.
What is your favorite book of the ones you have written?
The Heartmender. The Heartmender is the favorite of the ones I have written. And probably the only one that has sold less than Heartmender is The Lost Choice, and that is Polly's favorite of what I've written.
Well, yeah, The Heartmender is my favorite for sure.
Thank you.
What is one food you wouldn't want to give up?
Steak.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I just can't. I could not do that.
I think I already know the answer to this next one. If you had $1 million, what would you buy?
Land.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
If you had access to a time machine, where and when would you go?
That's a good question. Where and when would I go? I'd go back. I would get in my time machine. I would go back to April 15th, 1865. I would knock on the White House door, which you could at the time, and I would tell the Lincolns that the evening's play at Ford Theater had been canceled. So don't even bother going.
That's a good one. If you could add a person to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why?
George Washington Carver. Yeah, without a doubt. I think George Washington Carver, he is just one of my 2 or 3 life's histories, heroes. I am just absolutely fascinated by the man. I think that he changed life in this world more than anybody except Jesus. I mean, just for the common man, for the wealthy lady, for the economy. I'm telling you, the guy changed life on this planet. And if you really know a lot about George Washington Carver, the one thing that I am always struck when I read about him and I think about Carver, the thing that always strikes me, I think, how in the world do you accomplish that much in one lifetime? I truly don't get it.
What is your favorite book that you've read in the past 5 years?
The Old Man and the Boy by Robert Rourke, without a doubt.
If you could wave a magic wand and suddenly the world would understand and apply one principle, what would it be?
Forgiveness, without a doubt. Just to understand it, understand its power, understand its application, and live in it, we would be a different world today.
And finally, question number 100.
Wow.
What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to the release of Just Jones. That's the 3rd Noticer book, and so that's going to release September 8th. You can pre-order it now if you want, and I think it's the best writing I've ever done. I think it's the coolest story. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to creating measurable results for some of the awesome clients that I have. I love working with people, and I'm figuring out a way to be able to help more people, and so I'm really looking forward to that this year.
I can't wait to. So excited.
All right, buddy. Well, Matt, thank you for coming up with these questions. Thank you for coming up with any questions that didn't require me to answer Bradley Cooper. And this was fun. I hope people enjoy this, and I know people are going to enjoy having heard your voice, even though they could not see your red face.
Soon. They'll see me soon.
They'll see you soon. So anyway, thank you, Matt. I love just sitting around talking with you, and this is kind of just sitting around talking with you, and yet you had the opportunity to ask me questions that some of them I had never thought of these. So, but anyway, good. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
And that is the last one. That's number 100. 100 questions on the 100th episode. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. Hey, where do you seek wisdom? Make sure you check out today wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, HARBOUR.com. Listen, people are using it for their families, their businesses, their schools. You don't want to be left out. Wisdomharbor.com. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the mental energy I have, tiny bit though it may be, for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. Until next week, wear that mask, stay 6 feet away from everybody, and smile with your eyes. And so, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Half-used calendars provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by the Association Against Changes by Time Travelers. At the AACPTT, we've discovered the truth behind the wave of conflicts and disasters that have been hitting our world this year. January kicked off with bushfires that ravaged the south coast of Australia until a small group of time-traveling firefighters pierced the time veil and stopped the fire before it burned across the ocean to Asia, the Middle East, or to Europe. But no action is without consequence. The disruption in time's fabric sent ripples through the air, lowering Duluth, Minnesota's average annual temperature by 1/10 of a degree, throwing environmental activists into full panic mode. In an effort to correct this disruption, a different group of time travelers used an advanced radio pulse to counteract the earlier ripples, only to leave behind their de-rippling device, which was reverse engineered and used to create 5G networks. In a new effort to reverse that device, someone kicked the hornet's nest. Literally, someone actually stumbled over a nest of murder hornets, leading to a chain reaction of unrest by all subscribers to the National Enquirer. Further efforts by time travelers to stop the spread of these dangerous insects ultimately initiated a search for exotic animals whose diet is primarily hornets. Following up on tips about just such a beast that had once existed in ancient times, the travelers found the animal they were seeking 1,400 years ago roaming the unsanitary markets of Wuhan, China. After bringing the animal into our modern world last year, well, I think we all know what happened from there. Therefore, we now, the Association Against Changes by Time Travelers, move that disruptions of the space-time continuum be outlawed and the power to make decisions and correct our problems become solely the province of those living in the here and now.